Miss Philippines, this is your question. As an international ambassador, do you believe that speaking English should be a prerequisite for Miss Universe 2012? But before you answer this question, I want you to know my mother had her ears wide open listening to the sound of your revolution. She remembered her high school years in the Philippines where her classrooms were painted with Pinoy maps and lupang hinirang under the pictures of leaders smiling at an 8th grade sun. Yet their textbooks were printed in English alphabets because Anglo-Saxon teachers told them First World was more proper than brown-skinned language, as if we were still the savage they saw when the US annexed the Philippines in 1899. But I wish they saw the 1,500,000 Filipino citizens burned alive in villages and shot down like animals for writing independence on their nation's flag. My mother was already brainwashed to think that English was the dominant language in the Philippines, that their future depended on how far your tongue could bend to a foreign language that absorbed but never reflected her family's history. Speaking Tagalog was a way for her to remember her childhood when school desks couldn't keep her from yelling Filipino rhymes freely because English was a greedy monopolist that promised our land's prosperity but gave us assimilation when they placed their factories in between our communities. When my mother moved to the US, she spoke in Tagalog with unwelcome feelings of fear, like growing a garden of roses. It was a beautiful language of nature, but she was afraid to feel discriminated against like rose thorns cutting into her skin. Where she works as a credit representative, her Caucasian employer told her to remain English only, and she obeyed them like the classroom she translated her identity in. Isa, Bernadette, I need to see you in my office. Dalawa, there have been some complaints about you. Tatlo, you need to stop speaking Tagalog. Apat, it isn't appropriate. Lima, this is your only warning. She counted the broken petals of her pride one by one. 5 fallen petals for each cut rose they gave her through their bladed words. They made her kneel down to the soil to uproot her own roses. All because their ignorant ears told them she was spreading rumors in lumpia-skinned dialects. So she covered the Pinay verses in her taste buds to avoid being threatened to lose her job, hoping that her broken English can be as great as electronic translators. Let me tell you this, Mom. Ako'y bigo dahil hindi ka marunong tumayo sa sariling paa. Please stand up for yourself. Let this poem be the rain that falls on your garden. Bloom against the downpour of civil rights attacks because you have told me bravery and pride run in our people. Listen to my voice. See that I am not afraid. Tell them speaking the language you were given by your mother and your mother's mother keeps you 8,113 miles closer to home. Tell them it reminds you that you have traveled sea through shining sea, searching for a job without racial discrimination. And tell them you somehow survived. Tell them na pag-alaman ng ang wika ay isang paraan upang makipag-ugnayan sa aming komunidad. Tell them you want to stop pretending when you talk to a Filipino customer and say, "Hello. Welcome to World Pack. What can I do for you?" December 19, 2012. The world watches the Miss Universe pageant. Miss Philippines. And your response is, it's not about being able to speak a specific language. It's about being able to influence and inspire other people. If you have a heart to serve, a strong mind to show people, it doesn't matter. Ma, the next time you open your mouth at work having your voice boxes play Russian roulette, remember, you learned how to speak Tagalog before you learned how to walk. Know that you are cutting your stem short if you erode away from a familiar diaphragm you grew up with, because a flower is only beautiful when it stretches out from the ground to blossom towards sunlight. So the next time someone tells you to stop speaking Tagalog because they hear some primitive noise in the back of their ears, have the mantras of Miss Philippines let you stand tall like her. Wear your crown proudly. Grab your bouquet of tongue-colored roses. Smile and show them the beauty of your language. Maka-Diyos, makatao, makakalikasan at makabansa for God, people, nature, and country.